Well, this video is a wee bit different. I've got 2 days fishing here on one video. I'm fishing Cow Green Reservoir, and the weather for once is really rather pleasant from the fishing point of view. On day one the wind started off quite reasonable, but later on in the day it became a bit of a headache. I'm fishing more or less traditional flies for really a lovely stock of small wild brown trout, with the occasional chance of something bigger. If you're used to catching big fish in reservoirs and think that anything under 1.5 pounds is rubbish, you'll be very disappointed with these fisheries, because you can maybe fish it a dozen times and not connect with a pound trout. But then one day you might get hold of something weighing 3 or 4 pounds, and the fight of which you'll remember for a long, long time. Well, I'm having a session at Cow Green Reservoir today, and I haven't even bothered bringing a landing net. I'm just wanting to get hopefully one or two pulls and 1 or 2 small brown trout, and get me really into the mood for my Highland adventure, because this is a little bit like fishing a Scottish loch. Luckily, unlike the other reservoirs I've been fishing, this is pretty much full, and encouragingly, just a few yards in front of me there was a little rise, so I shall just get the right distance and hopefully get a bit of interest from that fish. I've got on the tail, I've got a pearlized body fly of my own dressing. I've got a size 18 red tag and a little size 12 black pennel on the top dropper. It would be encouraging to get a strong pull now. It's a lovely warm day so far. When I got to the car park, there was a couple of cars there, people getting out, and I said a hearty good morning to them and was totally ignored. But oh, you see, that's another rise there. I'm in the vicinity. And that's a small rise there. And a big rise out there. Oh, there's obviously several fish here feeding. Well, I've stuck on a couple of dry flies now, a black hopper and not the Griffiths gnat, and I'm going to see whether they do the business. Interestingly, while I was putting on the dry flies, which took quite a while because one of the eyes was so small, it was a a nightmare to thread it. There hasn't been a single right. Ah, there's a fish. Okay. Straight away, the black hopper has had a little bit of a chew at it. So often on these wild fisheries, you find the fish are very often very close to the side. It figures really because the terrestrial insects are being blown off the shore, and they might only land 6 foot or so away from the shoreline to start with. Well, I've had two small fish drop off. It's come about through casting out, leaving for a few moments, and then retrieving the flies, and I've had something sort of snatch at it about mid-cast. One of them was pretty small, and the other one, I say, was probably a good £1/2 pound. See, there's another one's had a swipe at the fly. So I put on a blue Zulu on the tail. It's a fly that anybody that's regularly fished the Highlands will know can be a real brown trout magnet at times. Ah, there we go. I'll see whether I can actually look at this one. Yeah, on the blue Zulu. My God, get the what's that? No. And then make a nice, get that hand wet. And the other one. It should unhook easy because it's, yeah, that's it. Well, away you go. Ah. Well, that's nice. That took the blue Zulu completely static float. You can see here that obviously I've speeded up the footage a bit. Although, having said speeded it up, the hand movements seem to be quite similar to a lot of modern reservoir fishermen that seem to like their flies moving at 45 miles an hour. Anyway, I'm poking around in the corner of the that part of the reservoir where I did get the odd pluck and follow and so on. But this day one has been surprisingly hard to actually get hold of a fish. Now I'm wandering off a lot further down the bank, exploring, trying new grounds. I've gone along the bank in the opposite direction to what I started with because the wind's changed direction, and where I was fishing it was getting very windy. I didn't mind the wind, but the thing was I stopped getting chances of fish, so I thought I'd try one or two bits along here with a bit of shelter. Wind has beaten me, so I've calling it a day, going home. I'll come back again on a day hopefully with virtually no wind. Right, this low angle footage makes it look as if I'm flying along, but actually I'm just walking at a normal pace. It's quite comfortable to walk on, but very tiring. You can see the There's a close-up of the moss that's been established there probably for thousands of years. Well, I'm back at Calgreen Reservoir a couple of days later, and there's a little bit of gentle rain. The wind is just very nice at the moment, but it's supposed to get up quite a lot stronger later on. And as you can see round by my rod, there's a few flies hatching. Also, I've noticed a few small fish as I was tackling up, rising quite close, with one big one close to my casting limit further out, which I'll try later on. So I've got a palmered black and peacock spider. I've got a donegal blue and a little black beaded fly, size 18 on the tail. So I'll try this little fish that's very close to me. See whether anything happens with that one. Ah, there it goes. Oh, okay. I should have had that one. Still, might come again. It hasn't felt the hook. Well, I've moved down the shore a bit, and I've changed the tail fly for a white arrow wing. The little beaded fly was finding far too many of these large submerged rocks that are all over the place. So I've had yet another couple of takes, which I still haven't managed to connect. That's a nice little fish jumping out, clear out of the water. I hope when the wind builds up it doesn't do what it did a couple of days ago and completely put everything down. Right, I found this nice quiet bay along the shoreline. I'm persevering with my dry flies, and at the top of the bay, in that top corner, just before, there was a couple of really nice fish came right out of the water and splashed down. Oh, that was a better rise just there, wasn't it? I've just had a couple of super small ones, and this little fish is fighting quite hard. It's no monster, but very welcome all and nevertheless. Oh, that's the kind of trout that normally you'd eat. Wet my hand. There you go. Gosh, didn't waste any time going back. That's nice, that. Oh, bugger. That was a lovely roll onto the fly. And that should have been on. Well, this again shows me dashing about. Well, obviously I didn't dash about at that kind of speed, trying different locations. To get the best from your brown trout fishing, you need to keep on the move. Once you've had a couple of takes and so on, and you've done one or two casts without a reaction, it's really best to keep moving. Otherwise you're going to very much limit your catch for the day. I've lost 2 good fish and actually been broken by one. I don't know really how I got broken, because I didn't think I was putting that much pressure on the line, but obviously I had, or there's a weakness. Oh, that one's off anyway. And it's left me with a tangle, which is nice of it. Well, this is interesting. I found hundreds of dismembered crayfish. It looked like some otter, mink or some birds had a really good feed. Anyway, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thanks very much for watching. More to come soon. Bye for now.